The latest NFL news and rumors presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat where you can save 20% off and free shipping and get free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. Quarterback market continuing to grow. I'll tell you what, luckily for the Bears who are searching for a quarterback, they're going to have a lot of players to pick from.
Yeah, I wanted to explore this on today's Bears show here that obviously the quarterback market is already larger than most years, I would say, just because good draft class, some free agents,
for sure,
trade targets as well. But now you can add a couple more names to the mix, and for me, there's no excuses for Ryan Pace this offseason. Figure it out. Get a quarterback to Chicago. I don't care who it is, but you got to upgrade. You got to get a quarterback, whether it's in the draft, whether it's in free agency, whether you trade for a guy. Mitch, there are a ton of options that are potentially going to be available for the Chicago Bears this offseason, and you got to upgrade from Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers. Not going to spend a lot of time there. You're not going to get him because it's the same division, but if he goes somewhere, the domino effect means one of these other guys could be available for you. That's just one extra slot for Chicago to go after. Carson Wentz, I'm not super interested, but he could be available. It's not a done deal that he'll stay in Philadelphia. Dak Prescott, I expect Dallas to tag him, but who knows? Maybe you overwhelm him with the trade offer. Deshaun Watson, obviously, that's the big one. That's the one Bears fans want and should want because he's 25 and he's a stud, and your stupid GM drafted the wrong quarterback when he was right there to take in 2017. A few more here. Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a name to keep eye on. What if San Francisco says, hey, we're going to get Aaron Rodgers because we're going to bring him home back to the Bay Area. That means they got to ship out Jimmy G. I think the Bears could be a natural landing spot there if Jimmy G has to hit the market there.
Sure.
Matthew Stafford, kind of like Rodgers. I think it's more of a possibility to get him, but still not very likely.
We'll talk more
about Stafford in a minute as well, but within the division, that'll be tough because there's a lot of rumors around Stafford. More on that in a minute, like I said. And then Matt Ryan as well. My point in all of this, Mitch, and I think you would agree with this, there's a lot of names out there. The carousel is real this year. There's going to be options for the Chicago Bears and all NFL teams, but especially the Bears who have been starving for a franchise quarterback.
How many quarterbacks have ever thrown for 4,000 yards for the Bears?
0. How many did that in the NFL this year? 12. Absolutely ridiculous.
And, I mean, when you look at a team like Chicago, though, I honestly think that this is one of the teams that is probably the closest to being a Super Bowl contender that doesn't have a quarterback.
Exactly, and you have to. They're the perfect proof that you have to have the quarterback. It's not Trent Dilfer in 2000. Like, you got to have a big-time quarterback. So you Bears fans, who do you want is the Bears quarterback next season? Not who you're going to predict, not who you think it'll be. Who do you guys want to be the starter under center? I want Deshaun Watson. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. And again, just to circle back to my initial point, there's no excuse to not improve. You have to upgrade at quarterback, and there's plenty ways to do so. In certain years, there's just not avenues to improve at quarterback.
Sure.
You know, there's just not guys available.
There's avenues last year, but they picked the wrong guy.
Yeah, but they traded for Nick Foles because, reasons. But look, if you're Ryan Pace, if you're Matt Nagy, you're fighting for your job here. You got to figure this out. You got to get the right quarterback in Chicago that can take you to the playoffs next year and probably at least win a playoff game for you if you want to keep your job in Chicago. And let me tell you something. Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, it's not going to be one of these two guys. If you're banking on one of them, you are not going to improve as a football team if you're the Chicago Bears.
But I also think, like you mentioned, a guy like Deshaun Watson. If I was a Chicago fan, I would say, what does it take? That's what I'll do.
Here's the check, Houston.
Blank check. You ever see that movie in the early 90s, Blank Check? Go ahead. That's what you need to go out and do because, no offense, Trubisky's just not getting it done, and the conversation was always going to be, you draft Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. You can wipe your hands clean with all of that right now.
You can fix it.
And go make it happen. Also, you thought that Nick Foles was going to be the answer. It just never, ever worked out whatsoever.
I mean, how many guys get a fair chance to get to trade for Nick Foles, Mitch, and to get a chance to make another quarterback decision? How many organizations get that opportunity? They screwed this up, and they're going to get another chance. I think that's a great situation for Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy to say, hey, we get another opportunity to go get our quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. So, again, this is all coming down to the quarterback market continuing to grow. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of pieces out there. I think, obviously, for Chicago, they're going to have a lot to go around. If you guys want to get the latest news and rumors around the Chicago Bears, go to youtube.com/Bears now. I know he's always breaking down the latest there, and who knows, maybe even see a random guy like me pop in once in a while for some breaking news. So be honest. Do you trust Ryan Pace to find the right quarterback? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I don't.
I was wondering what you're doing. I was like, peace?
Peace out.
I don't have a lot of confidence, but he's going to get another chance here. Hopefully Matt Nagy has more input. We'll just have to wait and see what happens this offseason.
More NFL trade rumors now around another quarterback actually in the North. Matthew Stafford, it looks like his time in Detroit is 100% done.
Yeah, Mitch, there's going to be a lot of teams that have interest in Matthew Stafford. Some background information first. They've agreed to part ways. That's public now. Even Stafford's wife took to social media saying, basically saying thank you, goodbye to Detroit. We're looking for our next opportunity here. So that's over. They're actively shopping him this offseason. That much is very clear. Now, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler threw out that, according to NFL execs he's talking to, that Stafford's eyeing the Indianapolis Colts.
As he should,
obviously, Phil Rivers is gone. They're not going to be picking high enough to get a quarterback in the draft that can replace Rivers.
For sure.
Jacob Eason's not ready. That's a win-now roster. But I think a lot of teams will and should have interest in the Detroit Lions quarterback.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you're going to look at the numbers here. 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 picks. But honestly, that's without his number one receiver, Kenny Galladay. Didn't really, Stafford had a few injuries this year. They've never had a running game underneath him. And I'll even go back to last year in 2019. This dude was on pace to throw for 39 touchdowns, about 5,000 yards before the injury. Like, if you put some talent around him, I do think that Matthew Stafford can win some football games.
I mean, I'll just throw this out there. I mean, as host of Chicago Bears now, I think the Bears should have a lot of interest. I don't think it's super likely because it's within the division, but if I'm Ryan Pace, I'm at least calling and seeing what the deal is, seeing what the value is. Now, they pick at number 20, whereas some other teams are picking higher. You may have to pay more, probably already will have to pay more because you're within the same division. But I think the Bears should have some interest. I think a lot of teams could make some sense. I know the Dolphins have been exploring some quarterback rumors as well. What do you think about that idea?
See, the issue with the Miami Dolphins is I don't know if that's the route I would go. Maybe another quarterback give potential interest there, but if you are a team that wants to try to win right now, I mean, I would say Matthew Stafford is better than a quarterback like Ryan Fitzpatrick. But the other thing the Miami Dolphins have that a lot of people don't is the draft capital. And if you wanted to, let's say, give up 2 first-round picks, you could do that if you were Miami. So we're going to hit you guys with this question. Would you trade 2 first-round picks for Matthew Stafford? Why for yes and for no? I think the brilliance behind this question is because a quarterback by the name of Jay Cutler was traded for 2 first-round picks. So, hey, if you guys think it's absolutely impossible, all I say is go back and look at it. Would you trade 2 first-round picks for Matthew Stafford? Why for yes and for no? Today's show presented by Manscaped. If you want to go get the perfect package, guess what? We're going to hook you up here. Go to manscaped.com/chat. 20% off, and you get free shipping on the Lawnmower 3.0. Ball toner, ball deodorant. How many people out there right now are wearing some deodorant underneath your arms? God, I hope it is literally everyone. And guess what? You should also wear ball deodorant down there because you don't want that stank. And if you want to make sure that you got the best-looking balls, the Lawnmower 3.0. Their slogan is simple. Your balls will thank you. And if you want to get the perfect package, Harrison, this is how you end up doing it.
Yeah, and the Lawnmower 3.0 is a part of the perfect package, Mitch. No razor tug, no burn. I gave up on trying to clean things up downstairs until I found these guys at Manscaped. They're like, give our products a try. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. Life-changing experience. My wife will confirm that. Manscaped.com/chat.
It saved his marriage.
Some people are talking. 20% off, free shipping. The perfect package comes with all kinds of stuff. Like you said, Mitch, the ball deodorant, the ball toner. That stuff is important because you don't want it smelling nasty down there. Manscaped.com/chat. Get that 20% off and free shipping. I promise you, the perfect package, it's going to make your package a whole lot better.
That's the reason why it's called the perfect package. So seriously, take advantage of this deal. Manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping. Let's look at a trade that happened a long time ago, Harrison. Back in 2011, the Raiders received Carson Palmer, who actually at the time was, I'm going to use air quotes, retired. The Bengals received the 2012 17th overall pick and then the 2013 second round.
And the reason I mentioned this is because when you're thinking, 2 first-round picks for Matthew Stafford, I mean, Carson Palmer basically hadn't played in over a year, and they gave up a first and a second for him, okay?
Correct.
So to think that it's out of the realm of possibility for Stafford just simply isn't true. Look at the Jay Cutler trade. Chicago Bears fans are very familiar with this one, and Cutler ended up being solid for the Bears, but I think you would say that Stafford's been a better quarterback throughout his career for the most part.
Probably.
They gave up 2 first-round picks, a third, and Kyle Orton, who was a serviceable starter for Jay Cutler. Now, they got a 5th in return, but to think that the Lions may not get 2 firsts for Stafford, think again. I think there's a good chance that Matthew Stafford will cost a team, whether it be the Bears, the Dolphins, the 49ers, the Colts. It could cost a team 2 first-round picks to trade for Matthew Stafford. And obviously, Mitch, the contract is part of this as well. 2 years, $43 million. That's not bad at all. Like, if you're a new team, the draft capital, okay, 2 first-round picks, but just over $20 million per for a new team taking on a quarterback who I would say is still in his prime, even if it's not his peak prime. I'd say 95% of his prime. That's intriguing if I'm a team with a win-now roster.
See,
San Francisco, Indianapolis. I think Chicago could be in a win-now roster, although I've mentioned the points with Stafford making it a longer shot. But there are teams that will and should have interest.
Absolutely. So go ahead, look into your crystal ball here. Try to figure it out. Where is Matthew Stafford going to play next season? If you haven't seen our top destination video on Matthew Stafford, please go check it out. I actually highly, highly encourage you guys to do that. This is what the thumbnail looks like on the video. Shout out to producer Sam there. Go check it out. We break down the top destinations for Stafford. I know a lot of people always rip on him for being, we'll say, a loser. However, I hate win-loss comparisons for quarterback. It's a team sport at the end of the day, and I don't really think anybody sitting here would be like, you know what? The Detroit Lions did everything they possibly could to honestly get him where he needs to be.
I mean, clearly they'd be better with Chase Daniel.
Oh, man.